Good morning everybody and welcome to a game between Alliance and Gigabyte Mineski for the Frankfurt Major 2015. Of course, this game already happened last week, but let me be honest with you, there is nothing else going on, which is not too surprising because all of the really good teams are at the Frankfurt Major, of course, and nobody else feels like playing apparently, so we're just gonna be doing one of these games. Now, I went with this one because Gigabyte Mineski is really one of those teams where most people didn't expect them to advance to the upper bracket, right? Gigabyte Mineski is actually in the upper bracket right now. I think they will actually be playing today, or they might already have played today. However, this was a surprise, right? At the Frankfurt Major, everybody got seated, of course, right? And we had 8 invites, and then we had 8 people that had to qualify. Gigabyte Mineski is one of those teams that got qualified. Gigabyte Mineski, at the same time, is also the only team that went through a qualifier that ended up in the upper bracket of the Frankfurt Major, right? So, out of the 8 teams that got invited, 7 of them made it through the group stage into the upper bracket. The only one that didn't was eHome, and that's because Gigabyte Mineski was in the group with eHome and just destroyed that group. Now, how did they do it? A big part of it, and something that people kind of consider to be their signature playstyle, is a hyper-aggressive lineup that is built around Huskar. As you can see right here, we have Huskar. Now, Gigabyte Mineski has a 100% win rate with Huskar currently. So every single game they have played, 11 so far, they have won with Huskar. Right, as long as they picked Huskar. Now, another interesting thing about that is that Gigabyte Mineski has also only picked Huskar if they also pick Dazzle. So they don't just pick Huskar, they pick Dazzle and Huskar. And they also win every single time they do that. So that's pretty interesting, right? And that's kind of why I wanted to go into this match. So you may already know how this ends. If you don't, I won't tell you, right? We don't want to spoil it. I haven't seen the match myself. I have seen game 2, however. And, well, I know the result, I suppose. But yeah, so that's where we're looking at this, right? I just kind of want to, you know, take a look at what Mineski is doing here. And of course, I'm still practicing shoutcasting. So one thing I want to say is, if you guys think that I'm good enough to like apply for studio, I will, right? But I'm honestly just waiting for your okay here. So as soon as you guys are like, no, Baumi, you got it. Just let them know that you want to cast, and I'm sure they'll let you do it. As soon as you think I'm at that point, let me know, and then I will go. Right, then I'll apply. But for now, I'll just be casting, and we'll just go out and try to be as good as we possibly can be. So yeah, let's go out and get into it, shall we? Of course, we have our favorite team of, I don't know, misfits, chaos. We have Alliance, our favorite team of screw-ups, I suppose. Alliance is very old, I guess, and even this, well, not exactly this lineup, but a lineup similar to this has been around for a long time. They did win TI3 in one of the best finals ever, and well, they are still relevant. People actually were surprised that they even made it to the Frankfurt Major, but well, actually, wait. Yeah, people were surprised that they made it to the Frankfurt Major, but they definitely earned it. If you watch those games, they were just straight up insane. Absolutely crazy. And super fun to watch. So, yeah, Alliance, definitely a team to look out for. And we're gonna see how they can perform against Mineski. And now, Mineski is a Southeast Asian team. So, Southeast Asia is hugely into Dota. I am not entirely sure where these are from. Is it Malaysia? It might be Malaysia. Right, I think that's it. But don't quote me on this. Anyway, point being that Gigabyte Mineski is a Southeast Asian team. And they are really like the only big Southeast Asian team in here. So, we'll see how they can perform. They might actually just be the only Southeast Asian team. I think they are. No, there's also Fnatic. Yeah, of course, there's Fnatic, yeah, definitely. But I feel like Fnatic is a little different, right? Like, Fnatic is Fnatic for one thing has black, which he's German. He's not Southeast Asian, so there's that. Well, this is a purely Southeast Asian lineup. But anyway, so let's go and take a look at how this game is going. We have the Husker at the bottom lane with the Dazzle and Undying. Undying played by Jesse Wash. We have Jules on the Dazzle and Cuckoo playing the Husker. On the other side, also at the bottom lane, of course, Loader playing the right-click carry, the safe lane hero, or I guess this time around, the carry in the aggressive tri-lane for Alliance, as per usual. On that Drow Ranger, Ake on the support, gonna be playing a Witch Doctor right here. Nuts, I think his name is actually My Nuts, but he might have changed it. I'm not entirely sure about that. Right, like maybe he decided that he liked Nuts more than My Nuts, but oh well. Oh, Cuckoo actually going in quite a bit. No. Alright. But yeah, Nuts on the Tusk. In the meantime, in the mid lane, we have S4 on the Wind Ranger going up against Raging Potato on the Queen of Pain. That was an odd shackle with the creep dying right beforehand. And I am horribly sorry. I got confused by the shackle. So let's go ahead and take another look, shall we? So we just have some pressure coming out from Cuckoo. Nothing too crazy. Oh my god, they plan on going on for the Husker. Okay, Husker might fall. Nope, we have the Shallow Grave come out, and this is where Undying comes in big time. Just one attack, two attacks. Loader goes down. Ake goes down, and that's 2 kills in favor of Mineski, turning that around really, really quickly. And that's actually kind of hard, right? Like, it's really, really difficult to go on that Husker, right? You just can't really do it. This lane is difficult to kill. You have Dazzle, of course, keeping him alive with the Shallow Grave. Husker is inherently hard to kill. And then you have Undying, who is the #1 team fighter at this point in time. Look, one piece of advice I always give people whenever they go up against an Undying in a lane is just don't fight, right? Undying is not that strong if you don't fight. Because that's where he really shines. But he doesn't really have much of a lane presence otherwise. He's not really great at harassing. Yes, he can do those things, but he isn't fantastic at it. Oh, My Nuts. Is he gonna get that? Ah, almost. Very close right there. But I'm not even sure that the second hit would have done it. No, it wouldn't have, so I guess it wasn't all that close in the end. But the point being that you have... Wait, actually, where was I? Alright, yeah, you have to keep in mind that Undying is very good at fighting, and you can't overextend against him. If you overextend against an Undying, you die. There's no question about that, that's just what's going to happen. And yeah, so that's what happened right there, and Alliance is gonna pay for it. Now, let's go and finish taking a look at the heroes. We have Ryor. I don't know how to pronounce that name, I'm sorry. Ryor? Ryor. I'll just call him Ryor, for the sake of being able to pronounce it. On the Slaughter, and we have Admiral Bulldog on the signature hero, of course, on the Nature's Prophet. This is what he's known for. He is the rat after all, right? And, oh, actually, we got the Slaughter going in on Bulldog right here. Then, that's not gonna happen. He, quite frankly, doesn't deal enough damage, and will just, retreat after getting a few hits in. Slaughter, currently a very popular hero in the competitive scene, very powerful as well. So I'm excited to see how he performs right now. And now an interesting thing right here is we have a little bit of damage. Oh, actually, wait 1 second. We got Ake getting initiated on again, and oh man, this stinks. This stinks. So the problem with this is that Alliance picked an offensive tri-lane, right? Now, if you're playing tri-lane against tri-lane, one of you is gonna lose, most likely, right? I know that sounds a little silly to say it like that. Well, one lane is gonna lose, well, duh. But you gotta keep in mind what that means, right? Like, why is that a big deal? If somebody loses this lane, it's not one hero that is suddenly at a disadvantage. It's not even 2, it's 3. You have 3 heroes that are gonna be much weaker than they really should be. If you take a look at this, right, we have the Drow Ranger currently sitting at 16 last hits. Now, that's not that bad, especially considering the Husker only has 19 himself. That's really not all that impressive. However, oh, can they get the shackle? No. And actually, it looks like the Slaughter wants to turn this around. Yeah, it comes in with the stun and quick pickup on Ake. S4 is gonna try to wind run out, and he should be fine. I don't know, actually. Raging Potato being quite aggressive here. He has the jump available, though, and he will be fine in the end. However, as I was saying, right, now in this lane, you gotta keep in mind, though, the Drow Ranger died once, right? The Huskar hasn't, and he's got 3 assists. He's just far, far ahead of your Drow Ranger at this point. But not only that, the supports, right? The Dazzler is 1-0 and 2. He is far ahead of the Witch Doctor, who I think died 3 times at this point and has literally no last hits. And the Undying is far ahead of... Oh, by the way, got a bit of a fight at the bottom. Jules gonna use the Shallow Grave on himself right there, and in the end will fall. But, you know, at the very least, the Huskar manages to trade his life for Bulldogs. So that's going to be a 2-for-1. I think Alliance is quite happy with that, however. Right, they are behind right now, and a 2-for-1 is generally speaking fine. If you're behind, I feel like that's even better. Right, and especially considering both of those kills went on the Wind Ranger, I would definitely say that that went in their favor. Oh, Huskar taking quite a bit of damage right now, but he should be fine. Now, one interesting thing about Kuko on that Huskar, he loves to just straight up rush the armlet. First item, boots, armlet. And he doesn't even upgrade the boots, right? He upgrades the boots afterwards. He tends to buy power treads as soon as he's done with the armlet, or maybe he even builds a little bit further into it, but first item, armlet, every single time. And I think that's a little unique, right? I haven't seen people do that, but then again, I also haven't seen a lot of people play Huskar. Although I don't think that's because the hero's bad. I think Huskar is actually really strong. He's just situational, right? But as you can see, and I think I talked about this earlier already. No, I actually definitely did. But Mineski has a lineup that's built around Huskar. The other time I saw Mineski play Huskar, instead of having an Undying, they had a Winter Wyvern. Now, what unifies those two heroes, right? Like, what makes them similar? Healing potential, team fighting potential, right? They create chaos. So they kind of have like a similar role in terms of making sure the Huskar actually gets to do the crazy nonsense a Huskar wants to do. And let's be honest, if this hero gets to do what he wants to do, he is unstoppable. Huskar can be insane. Now we got a little bit of a gank coming up top. Smoke is already used. 5 heroes are on this side of the river in the top lane, but it seems that not much is going to come from it. Yeah, so this is of course the big problem Alliance is facing right now. We have the Drow Ranger not really in any position to farm, right? Like, she was supposed to farm at the bottom. Honestly, their plan was to win that offlane, but that didn't happen. Now, they can't put the Furion into the bottom anymore, because he's just too weak. He will die He will die every single time. And, so, you know, it doesn't really work anymore. The Drow Ranger can't go bottom anymore, so they gotta put the tri-lane top, and it's just all around a little awkward. So it seems they've just mostly given up on bottom, and they will instead just, you know, have the Tusk be a little annoying, but that's about the end of it. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how that works out for them. Currently, Alliance isn't doing particularly great. Now, of course, we gotta keep in mind, Alliance is not really a fighting kind of team, right? They are known for being able to avoid a lot of fights and still breaking down your buildings. I mean, they literally won an international through backdooring, right? I gotta keep that in mind, and that's really what they are known for. That's really their style. That's what they do. They backdoor a lot. They play objective gaming, but not so much, you know, they aren't so much looking for kills all the time. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see how this works out. It might be fine for them, I guess. Saying it should is a little iffy. We got Furion, not quite coming into the bottom lane. And actually, Huskar, he wants a kill. He's looking for it. He jumps the tower. Gonna be falling pretty low. We, of course, have the Shallow Grave coming out. He's shackled up, but no, he actually isn't. Oh, man, and now he's just tanking the hits. But, of course, that's the power of the Armlet in combination with the Dazzle. As soon as you're dropping low, you just... Well, actually, no. As soon as you're dropping low, you apply the Shallow Grave, right? Then, one thing I've noticed is Cuckoo just simply turns off the Armlet. So he wants to be at 1 HP. Not at a little bit more, no, just straight up 1 HP. So he gets the maximum amount of attacks in with the Burning Spear. And then he just turns it back on as soon as the Shallow Grave wears off. No, I'm not entirely convinced that that's optimal, right? I gotta admit, I personally would prefer it if you just kept the Armlet activated, because that's still gonna drain him down to a really low amount of HP. And I feel like he would deal more damage, but I'm sure he figured that out, right? I'm sure he knows what he's doing, so yeah. Either way, we have the Wind Ranger currently just farming the jungle, and she's gonna be a key player here, right? Because against that Huskar, you're gonna need a lot of physical damage, and she's the prime candidate for that, right? Like, I mean, who other than the Wind Ranger is gonna be able to pull that off? I don't know. I don't see anybody, so it has to be her, and she can definitely do it. This hero is insane if she gets enough farm. Her damage output is ridiculous. However, currently, that's not really happening, right? We aren't quite there yet. And it seems that Mineski is looking to break down a tower at the bottom right now. Meantime, Alliance, they're like, alright, let me just go ahead and trade for top. And that seems fine, right? I feel like we're gonna see the... kind of like the same kind of play happening at the top and at the bottom lane, right? Like, let's go and get the tier 1. Just make sure we apply some pressure there. And sure, why not? There's nothing wrong with that. Top tower goes down, bottom tower gonna be next in line. Huskar, by the way, now picking up some lifesteal. And actually looking at items, I think we are already seeing like a few things come online. So the Undying, of course, has the mana boots, which is actually a pretty big deal. That hero really needs mana. Queen of Pain, we can see that she's working on an Orchid. That's nice. Orchid, of course, very powerful. I especially like it against heroes like Nature's Prophet, who does actually have a pretty good escape mechanism, right? You just sprout yourself and then TP out. It doesn't work if you're Orchided. Against Tusk, cancelling out the Snowball. And against Wind Ranger, sorry. Stupid names. But against the Wind Ranger. So she can't Wind Run away. However, it seems that Mineski is just looking to take Roshan right now. I wonder if Alliance is actually aware of this. Yeah, they are definitely coming in. They are definitely coming in. And look at this, Mineski is actually on a pretty low amount of HP, so this seems like a nice moment to fight if you're gonna do it. I should really go. It's just hard with the tombstone up on the cliff. And Roshan will just fall. That's an Aegis on the Huskar. I gotta admit, I'm very surprised that Alliance did not initiate on this. Meantime, Bulldog, he tries to TP out, but he gets stunned up, and Bulldog taken down in the background. I'm not entirely sure I know what the hell he was doing down there, but that was really bad for Alliance. It seems they're already struggling a little bit. And one big problem they're facing right now is, again, they failed their tri-lane. Right, Loda didn't get anything done, and Drow Ranger is really not the kind of hero where you can afford that. Right, Drow Ranger is really the kind of hero where you have to do well early, so you can continue doing well all throughout the game. But if you don't do great, she's just not gonna do great things. It's really that simple. She's squishy. She relies a lot on levels to, kind of make up for that, because she tends to skill a lot of stats. She really needs a lot of items. Currently, she's just sitting on 3 Wraith Bands, which essentially doesn't do shit. Right? Just not that strong. So, Loda really struggling at the moment. Now, on the upside, they do have a lot of heroes that benefit from the aura, right? They have 4 ranged heroes, but that's not even the big part, right? Just having ranged heroes is not that important. You actually need heroes that right-click, and you do have that too. You have Furion and you have Wind Ranger, 2 ranged right-clickers. So they will definitely benefit a lot from the Drow Ranger Precision Aura, and that's helpful, right? So she adds that to the team, but that's about it for Loda right now, and that's a little bit of a problem. Now, one thing I think is interesting is how both teams are really trying to avoid fights. We have Cuckoo just pushing down the top, right? Alliance just sitting at the bottom. But neither team is ready to fight. Neither team is looking to really engage. It's just chilling. Alright. Oh, we actually have Raging Potato going in. And they find S4. Can they see him? Yes. Silenced up. Oh my god. Blown into oblivion. That was complete overkill too. That was just unnecessary, but I suppose they'll take that. And down goes the Drow Ranger. That's pretty significant kill actually. Like, she is valuable, and most importantly, she needs to farm. Right? Like, she needs like 180 gold for the Agonals, and then she needs probably some sort of damage item, or if she isn't going for that, like Blink Dagger or BKB. But none of those things are happening right now, because she's dead. Meantime, Mineski still breaking down top. And look at this. I love that so much, right? They know Huskar right now literally cannot be killed. This guy is not dying. If he has the support around, Huskar, no. You're not getting him. It's just not happening. And that's really nice, right? That's really, really big. So they're like, okay, we'll just put him in the front line, and we're gonna start killing all of your buildings, right? We'll play the objective. We still have an Aegis. Even if you somehow manage to kill the Huskar, good luck killing him twice. That is definitely not happening. And you see that he even dominated the siege creep, and actually he's going in on S4. Using the ultimate, but not much else gonna come from it. They even lose the courier. Oh my god. No. No, 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 no. That was the Argonauts for the Wind Ranger. That is a huge loss. Whoever sniped that courier just made a huge play happen. Oh my god. Yeah, S4 is not gonna have his Aghanims for 3 more minutes. And we got Mineski? No, not quite committing yet. I would have been quite surprised if they went in right there, but no, they don't want to. They don't want to. One thing I really want to know about is like why Cuckoo skills the way he does, right? Because if you... Oh, wait. Let's talk about that later. Right now, Briar, he just wants to break down some of these buildings. And Queen of Pain, she somehow manages to snipe. Oh, Nature's Prophet at the bottom lane. We have the Tombstone down in the mid, and... Well, Cuckoo, he's just sitting there. He's just ready to go, jumps S4, but of course the Wind Run is gonna keep him safe for the time being. Alliance, they want to fight, but they really can't. We got the Shallow Grave coming out on the Huskar. He's just holding his ground, and he goes for Loader! No, he's not quite dead yet. Ake definitely gonna fall. And Huskar is still holding his ground. Loader goes down. Ake, of course, finally falls to the burn. We have a buyback coming out from the Drow Ranger, and the Huskar is now taking a lot of damage, even silenced up. But I'm not sure that that's enough. Raging Potato comes in. The blink in the back and takes down the Wind Ranger. Seems like Mineski is gonna be forced to fall back just a little. But they're not going all the way back to base. Screw that. Oh, Ryo comes in, saves Raging Potato, going for Nuts. Nuts gonna be the first to fall right here. Loader might be next in line if they lose Loader. That's really big. That is actually very significant. And these barracks are going down. Oh, they are definitely going down. And so Mineski takes the mid barracks for themselves. Alliance. Ah, man. So far they've only managed to get 2 kills. Haven't really done much else, and you can see it, right? Over 10,000 experience lead. Over 12,000 gold. Oh man, Mineski. They're just pushing the advantage so much. And I honestly believe that losing the courier right before that fight actually made a huge difference. Because that takes so much confidence away from Alliance, and it's such a huge blow mentally, right? You're doing great. Well, not necessarily great, but you're at least doing alright. You know? You still have hope. You're like, okay, we can do this. No, we can't do this. We are Lions, right? We have the Aghanims done. Wind Ranger, even if she doesn't have any damage items, just with the Aghanims and the Precision Aura, she will deal a lot of damage. And that's gonna be our way to kill the Huskar. And once the Huskar is dead, let's be honest, Mineski kind of falls apart. Because that's a team that's built around Huskar, right? That's a team that's supposed to enable that hero and that hero alone. And, you know, as long as we can kill him. But losing the Aghanims right before the fight, it just puts you into a really bad spot mentally. However, they might be able to make up for that right here. At the very least, they managed to snatch one kill. Ryo now trying to maybe retaliate. He at least has an amplified damage on S4, and the rest of Mineski is incoming. Raging Potato gets silenced though. Turn around on by Admiral Bulldog, and he might actually fall. No, oh my god! Look at Huskar! This guy is just a few attacks and everything around him falls. He's tanking it. He doesn't care. He's not afraid. Loda just torn apart. And he's gonna go for Aka as well. Down he goes. Nuts. Oh, actually, nice power shot. Saves him for a little while, but that's gonna be the end. S4 still alive. He has the ultimate active on Cuckoo, and Admiral Bulldog is also around, but Huskar, look at him, he's just standing his ground, he's not afraid. Admiral Bulldog is gonna fall again. He's trying to now turn it around on maybe S4, but S4 just doesn't have the damage. It's just not enough, and Cuckoo takes that one as well. At 23-5. And the Huskar raid boss, he's holding his ground. Man, what do you even do against that? How do you kill this? Now sitting on an Assault Cuirass on top of all of that. A second ago he was at plus 48 armor. With of course all of the auras. With the dazzle and the weave. Ooh. How do you kill the Huskar? How do you do that? And the worst part is, right there, he wasn't even level 14. He didn't even have the Inner Vitality maxed out. And Inner Vitality is really one of those abilities that scales super well. It becomes significantly more powerful as time goes on. Oh man. This is gonna be hard for Alliance. Very hard. I don't know if they can make this comeback happen. No. If anyone can, it's Alliance, right? They are the comeback masters. This is their thing. This is what they do. But I just don't see them having enough damage to take down the Huskar. Now we see one last attempt. Smoke coming down. But Jules, he has an invisibility and detects detects Loda and S4. Oh, that sucks so much. They lose their smoke. Do they have another one? S4 at least manages to use the wind run right before he gets jumped. So nobody's gonna fall during that fight. But do they have another smoke available? Well, yes, one, okay. So at the very least they got that going on. But Roshan is back. Catapult is already in the pit and... Well, Mineski, they're gonna start working on that. And Alliance has to know. They know. They definitely know. Oh, look at Raging Potato! He just jumps in on S4! S4 is dead! No? Is he? No, he's fine. Oh my god. But actually, we got Ryo coming in from the back. He can't hit the Wind Rage. He gets shackled up against the tree. And they managed to take him down. S4 survives this somehow. However, I feel like Roshan still went down. Huskar still picked up another Aegis. And now the push is coming. It's coming and you know it. And what you gonna do? Right? Yes, getting that kill is actually pretty big. Right? That's significant. That helps their team a decent amount and you know, pushes the Wind Ranger a little bit further ahead. Like, she does have a Blink Dagger now, which is nice. She has the Aghanims, of course, and hopefully she's going to be able to pick up some crits soon. But I don't know if she's going to get to that point, right? I feel like if she can, right? Or that is if she goes for crit. Actually, Daedalus is pretty popular these days. I would prefer crits here, though. But if she can get to that point, she's definitely going to be able to kill anybody, right? That's the cool thing about this hero. Wind Ranger, I believe to be one of the highest DPS heroes in the entire game. But right now, I don't know where she's gonna find that farm, right? The creeps don't magically spawn. You gotta find them. You gotta... Actually, no. They do magically spawn. That's actually a thing they do. But you know what I'm talking about, right? I know, they actually do that. Yeah, if you think about it, they do actually just randomly spawn out of nowhere. I mean, that's like kind of their job. As creeps. Oh well. I guess that's how it is. Well, Mineski is getting ready for another push. And look at this. I love how the Husker is just in front. He just walks in, they jump S4, and he immediately... He knows, right? He just immediately changes target. He's well aware that there's no point to hitting the Wind Ranger, and they don't even care about the heroes, right? They're here to push objectives, and that's what they're gonna do. They get a shackle, but now Raging Potato jumps in. Actually, Witch Doctor gets a pretty nice ultimate, but taken down immediately. Bulldog also falls. Wind Ranger bites back. She's trying to maybe fight it out a little, but misses the shackle, and is gonna be forced to fall back. Now, at the very least, Loda is still alive, so they got that going on, but, you know, I wonder if the aura and the Wind Ranger is gonna be enough to fight this, and it doesn't seem like it. It doesn't seem like it at all. Top barracks are gonna be next in line, and another jump. Nice blink though from S4. He definitely saw that one coming. Power shot just trying to nuke them down slowly, but that's just not going to happen. And the top barracks taking more and more pressure, and there we go. Melee goes down. This is the last barracks for Alliance in this game. Yeah, backdoor protection used as a last-ditch effort, and actually Husker goes in pretty deep right now. Well, he's stunned up still. We got Ryo on the slaughter again, going in big time. However, we got Beyond Godlike, and the Husker. Look at that. He's literally just sitting in the well. He doesn't care, and that's a win, folks. So, I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a rating on the video, and see you tomorrow.